Welcome everybody to the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card. So today's pick a card is actually one of a two-part series, and it doesn't really matter whether you've seen this one first or the other one first. It may even be that at different stages in your life you might be drawn to one or the other, or you may watch both together and then get drawn back to one of them at some other later stage when you need one or other of these energies around you. But what we're exploring in this and the other episode, in this one, we're looking at who is and what are the messages from your spiritual mentor. And the other one will be who is and the messages from your spiritual coach. And these are two quite different things, though they're often conflated. People often think a mentor is a coach and a coach is a mentor, but they're actually very different in what their role is. And that's what we're going to be teasing out here. And it could be a mentor and a coach that's going to help you with a business or a career option. It could be a creative project. It could be a spiritual development, a spiritual path. It could be some body of knowledge that you want to become an expert in. It could be anything. But at the beginning of each of them, I'm just going to talk about the fundamental difference between the two so that you understand what we're focusing on in each. So this one, we're talking about the spiritual mentor. And a mentor is usually someone, say if it was in an organizational context, it's someone who's further along the path and more knowledgeable and more successful at something you're trying to do, to all intents and purposes. They have more knowledge of the environment, they have more knowledge of the networks, they often have more qualifications or more experience. And what you're going to a mentor for, and as I say, whether it's in a workplace, whether it's in something creative, you're going to them to learn about their journey, how that might apply to yours, their wisdom, what they've learned, what they would tell you to avoid, what they would tell you to embrace, to get networks. Mentors will often connect you up with the right sort of people and actually actively help you. But the real thing is you're going to hear about their experience and how you could apply it. So it's a knowledge transfer, and it's different to a teacher. It is possible that someone could be a teacher and then become a mentor later, but they're different roles. A teacher is giving you a particular prescribed body of work or information, teaching you in certain techniques and so forth, but they're not really telling you then how to apply that more generally. You could have a course that was around that, but it's not their personal wisdom that's doing it. It's usually some sort of curricula or some sort of general sort of standards and capabilities that are being developed. But you could segue from a teacher to a mentor if you then continued with that relationship. What normally happens with a mentor is that you will choose them. You'll feel that rapport, you'll admire them, and you'll ask them if they would be your mentor. And if they agree, then you establish that kind of discussion and dialogue and how best to meet and talk and what you're looking for from them and that sort of thing. So that's what we're going to be looking at in this reading. And in both of the readings, we're going to actually ask or invite goddesses of the world to come forward as your spiritual mentor in this case and your spiritual coach in the other case, to give us a sense of the energy, because then I'm going to be looking at whether this is a career thing, whether it's a creative thing, whether it's spiritual, whether it's around politics or social issues or whatever it might be, so that we can cover all of that. So we just want a general idea about the area where their expertise and their wisdom is something that you're drawing upon. And you may be able to connect this back to someone who's actually in your life. It may help you choose a mentor in some form in your life. Otherwise, it's connecting with that goddess energy. In the other reading, we'll do more around coaching. And just in general, a coach is different to a mentor. A coach doesn't have to be an expert in the area that you're talking about. They don't have to be more successful in the area that you're talking about. They actually are trained to be able to have an open dialogue, to be able to get you to set goals, use your information, set sort of parameters and criteria. They are your cheerleader. They're also your tough love person. And again, generally you get to choose your coach, though not always. If we think about the standard coach scenario in sporting things, a team will have a coach. But in other sort of pursuits, you might sort of choose someone who can get you to think laterally and look at things differently. So that's a different set of support. And as I say, in the other reading, we'll look at that. And again, we'll ask a goddess energy to come forward to be representative of what the ideal coach might be for you and the messages that coach would have for you. So on to today with the mentor. It's certainly fine to go to more than one reading. You could have an amalgam of these energies. It could be someone who embodies a couple of them. That's fine. But I shuffled and asked Spirit for each pile for the dominant energy that would be the right goddess energy to be coming forward to be a mentor. And so kind of go by what you're drawn to there. That's the important thing, because we'll talk a bit about the nature of the goddess and what she would be mentoring in, and then we'll use tarot to really look at what this means practically, and some other oracles for other information for you, so that the mentoring messages come through clearly, the mentoring relationship is as positive as possible. So for pile number 1, we have the goddess Laka. For pile number 2, we have the goddess Aphrodite. And for pile number 3, we have the goddess Tiamat. So you may or may not know about the nature of those goddesses. That may help your choice, but otherwise don't feel like you have to go off and research them or whatever. We will talk about their nature. Just go by what your soul is telling you. And when you know what reading or readings that you want to go to, I've got the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome, pile 1, to your reading. So the goddess that stepped forward to be your mentor, if you've come to this reading, is Laka, and she is a Hawaiian goddess. She is a goddess of hula and the forest, and she's all about the joy of dance, the joy of life, the joy of creativity, expression, artistic expression of your life. She embodies the essence of the dance itself. And her guidance is inspirational to embrace your passions, your creativity, celebrate the beauty of your unique artistic voice. So to me, this is a mentor for people who are creative. If that doesn't, and I would say creative in something that is traditionally thought of as creative. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be precisely an artist or a dancer or a singer, though if you are, this is an ideal mentor for you. But there's something where I think the expression of creativity is important, because we can be creative in terms of, somebody who's a property manager, like an entrepreneur can be creative, but it might be in a very business-oriented type of way. And I feel like this is more your kind of creative expression, that kind of energy. This is where she can help. Now, if you are someone who does want to be an entrepreneur, for instance, then the mentorship here might be to open up your creativity and your joy in what you do. You might then look for a coach that is more about getting you focusing on goals, key performance indicators, how you could sort of see productivity, how you would keep things managed and on track, for instance. So really depends on what you're looking for at the moment. But I think this is a mentor whose wisdom is about creative expression, joy, dynamism, keeping things going. Knowing, I would also say, because there's such a strong energy here about the dance, I would say the rhythms of the environment. With a mentor, you are looking for someone who understands the industry or environment or group that you are in, whether it's spiritual, social, political, whatever it might be. This is someone who understands that, understands what is being created and co-created, and understands the rhythms and how to inspire others. So this is the sort of energy that your mentor wants to bring forward. So let's have a look at what we can find out from tarot. Now, I've chosen the Baroque tarot. The reason I've chosen that is that it sort of displays to me a medieval court. And when I think about a mentor, I think about someone who helps you navigate an environment where there could be a lot of demands and other energies and so forth that you have to compete with or understand and navigate, and it may not always be clear, and it may feel a little bit dangerous or scary at times. Particularly, in a medieval court, the closer you get to the king or queen, the closer you are to all the intrigue and so forth. So I felt that this was, even though in this case it's a very creative, joyful energy, for you to be able to express that, you need to understand the environment you're in and what you're trying to create and express. So I feel like this tarot takes us to that kind of energy. I'll use a different type of tarot for coaching because it's a different energy we're talking about with coaching. So there's 4 things we're going to look at. We're going to look at first, what areas or skills or knowledge are you seeking now that connects to your creativity and inspiration, and that you might be able to get wisdom from Laka for, from your spiritual mentor. Then we're going to look at what is within you that you should develop, that they think you should develop more in terms of knowledge, experience, understanding, and also what to release or change in some way. We then want to have a look at what is the external world or environment operating like now. What do you need to see about that? Because a mentor is very good at that, at helping you understand the environment. And then we're going to look at what balance of what you need to focus on now is personal, interpersonal, or the big picture. So these are the sort of things that a mentor can help you look at and understand. So firstly, let's get a little bit more of an idea about the areas or skills or knowledge that you're seeking at the moment from this mentor. 8 of Wands reversed, 3 of Cups reversed, 9 of Coins reversed, 2 of Coins, 7 of Coins. Okay, there's a very strong material aspect to this that goes along with the creativity. So I feel that for most of you, this is somehow around how you would want to make money, resource your life and so forth, whether it's through a creative pursuit, whether it's through a creative vocation, whether it's through some sort of creativity within a social construct or something like that. It doesn't feel like it's overtly spiritual. It doesn't mean that you couldn't bring the law of manifestation or any of those sort of things that you might be interested in on a sort of pentacles level into it. But it looks like at the moment you would be coming to a mentor because your progress has been blocked. You feel like you should be able to celebrate. You do have skills, abilities, joy, but it's like it's not hitting its target at the moment. And you're very connected to and dependent upon other people. You're more likely to be in a team as being a leader. If you're a leader, then there's many other sort of layers above you or whatever. There's a lot of your progress and what you can express that is being determined by other people, by the group. You're not as independent as you might like. Now, you might be going to a mentor to say, how do I take my skills, ability, and creativity and go and start a business because I'm just stuck here. Or it could be, how do I break through that type of role to move to where I'm feeling that I have more autonomy? You're looking for advice on what options are available because, as I say, you feel as though some are not going to be a return on investment. So this feels like you're looking for a mentor to give you a sense of what is the best material outcome, what are the best options within this environment for you to be able to break through blocks and to get a return on investment on what you're doing. If you were, for instance, a writer and you were finding, you weren't getting a publisher, you might be talking to a published author who is a mentor to you to say, well, how did you do it? Like, what options did you look at between self-publishing and traditional publishing, for instance, and where is the sort of break-even point where you can really express yourself, and where do you have to kind of go along with others, and what are the options? If you go traditional publishing, you're more restricted in what you can say and express. On the other hand, if you go self-publishing, is it going to have the reach? So that's just an example. But there's something very, very material about this because you feel blocked. So that would be why you would be looking for a mentor at the moment. Doesn't mean you can't break through it. Laka is a goddess of rhythm and understanding and creativity. So that's a very important inspiration for you. So let's get 3 cards for what she would tell you. Firstly, that you should increase as a focus, and 3 cards for what you should either decrease or change as a focus. What's her advice to you to break through this block, pile 1? Knight of Wands, the Devil, the King of Cups. Wow, okay. And what to decrease or move away from? The Sun, the High Priestess. Wow, this is powerful. Whatever this is powerful. The 8 of Swords. Okay, first thing I'm going to say is there's something about the environment that you're in that is very, very powerful, very political, it's a lot of money associated with it, or a lot of structure, or a lot of hierarchy or something. And that's actually working to your benefit, even if you are feeling stuck. So she would not tell you, for instance, if you were in a big organization and you were feeling like you aren't able to be more autonomous, she would say that if you are going to move to something even bigger. Like, she'd actually say you actually need more infrastructure, not less. But maybe to find a place that is more emotionally aligned to you, because it's not, I think she would be saying, you're not going to get the breakthrough you need if you are just looking at, okay, I'm just going to leave a workplace and I'm just going to run my own business or whatever, because that is a harder yards to actually get the return on investment. So it's more that, you need to do something with other people. But she's saying, if you're going to move, if you're feeling stuck, move to something even bigger. Move where there are more opportunities so that you can find the connection to express what you want. And so it could be, if you were in, a financial services organisation, you move to a similar size organisation, but maybe in the creative fields, or maybe in, a not-for-profit or whatever, like something big, but more to connect it to the heart, because she says size actually matters. Size matters, part one. So that is the first thing. It's like it's not that you're meant to go and dance on your own in the forest. You're actually meant to find a bigger group of people and take your energy towards that. You're meant to be in a big sort of, this is meant to be on a big stage, I guess. She is actually saying to you, I get why you want to be more independent. I get why you want it to be what you do, and you feel that that's part of your spiritual calling, and you feel as though you're constricted at the moment, but this is not the time. That is what she is saying quite clearly here. This is not the time to be going, I'm just going to go out on my own, because you'll have a whole other set of restrictions that occur there. She's also saying that it's not the time to dwell into the mystery of who you're meant to be. You've got to find yourself the place where you can grow, then you can find that out. So I feel like this is, and if it's not like in a workplace, then it's like it's a bigger industry thing. It's like, if you're a singer, it's like you've got to kind of take it to a bigger stage. Rather than thinking, no, I'm just going to do it. And you've got to think about the commerciality of it. The devil to me is very commercial. There's that kind of thing. If this is about spirituality, again, it's like you're meant to take your heart and your passion into something that is a spiritual battle, not into just something that is more sort of hidden and more personal. There's something very transpersonal about this, actually, the best way to do what you're doing rather than just what you want personally. And that doesn't mean it's always the case, but she's saying right now to be able to be like her, to be at that level, to be inspired and inspiring, you need a bigger canvas, you need a bigger challenge, really, and it needs to be about more than just you. So, mentors can be quite tough, so can coaches. So, bear that in mind. So, okay, so what do you need to know about the external environment that you're in at the moment? That whatever it is, an industry, a group, a creative field, whatever it might be that you're looking for mentorship on. The Tower, a lot of change is going on. 9 of Cups. Queen of Cups reversed. 8 of Coins. Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. She's telling you why. She's saying go big, be in a big environment. It's because you're meant to develop your skills more. A bigger environment in some way will help you develop your skills more. You are needing to do that. You have a lot of natural talent. It's not saying that you are, not talented at all. She's saying that you're at that point where you need to be around others. Having a mentor is an excellent idea. Being around a bigger canvas with bigger people, to be pitching yourself in there is a way to develop who you are. And that will lead you. There is a possibility. She's saying you're in the right industry, in the right thing. This is not go off and do something else, but it's like understand what your dream is, because there's a big breakthrough that's meant to happen for you, but you've got to be almost unsentimental about it. The environment that you're in is kind of unsentimental, actually. Even if, it's creative and it seems to be sort of all about love and caring, the actual business side of this or whatever it is unsentimental. So it's understand that. The people the thing that you're not needing to do at the moment is look necessarily for those who have the same emotional values as you and want to make offers. You've got to go out and find it yourself. And you've got to understand that you're heading towards something that's more emotionally aligned to you, but that's not the thing that's going to help you right now. Being a bit dispassionate, focusing on developing your skills, knowing what your goal is, because there's a lot of change going on. So an example of this might be, for instance, in the art world at the moment, there is a lot of stuff about AI, and there's a lot of discussions about that, even in terms of tarot cards and so forth. So the art world and the creative world is always kind of a tower world in a way, because it's always going through change. So that has to occur, I think, and there are new skills that are going to be necessary for that. And you've just got to be dispassionate about it. If you're sort of like, oh, well, I'm not going to touch any of that ever, that's all wrong. I'm going to be a purist artist. You might get left behind. It's like understanding what the change is. That's what she's talking to you about, so that you can celebrate and succeed. You need to understand how to be dispassionate at the beginning. This is a very tactical decision to do at the moment that leads you to where you can start to think more about your personal expression. But right now it's about positioning yourself. Okay, so let's just see. We're going to get 3 cards, and I just want to see the balance of whether this is personal, other people, or the environment, the external world that is most important to focus on at the moment. We may get one of each, and that's an equal thing. Now, the personal will be ace to 10 of any suit. The interpersonal with other people will be any court card, and then the external or the bigger picture will be any major arcana. So, Wheel of Fortune, yeah, it's all about timing. Big things are happening in the external world, and it's not the time to go all in on your own thing, because that will happen later. You've got some stuff to do. Oh, the Fool reverse, yeah. And this is something, it has happened before. She's saying there's a lot going on at the moment, and if you study whatever it is that you're doing, as I say, socially, politically, artistically, in the workplace, whatever it is, you'll see the patterns, you'll understand it well. There's a lot going on. This is like an industry or an area that reimagines itself and reinvents itself. And the Hanged Man is all external at the moment. Need to think differently. It makes a lot of sense to me in whatever this is. If you are wanting to think about how do I express myself, but you're in a very changing environment, it's very easy to get lost if you are trying to just be yourself in that, because it's almost like you don't even know what the structure is that you're working with. You may, if you actually get more involved in the change and you get to a kind of a level or something where you can influence it more, you can probably influence where it goes, because it is so volatile at the moment. But if you just try and strike out on your own when it's going through such change, there's a lot of a risk around that, because so much is happening that you could get lost. So I think this is a very practical thing for you. And if this is around a spiritual thing, something's happening on a spiritual framework that's very external, and you need to kind of let that happen, and then and pay attention to that and learn from that, and then work out what to do next. So it could be that there's a lot that's very strange. You could be getting a lot of synchronicities that don't make a lot of sense, but the timing is not quite right yet. You've got to you will become more and more familiar, and you'll be able to think differently about it, but you've got to let the timing come into play. So, pretty clear message. Let's use the Azure Oracle just for a couple of either, it could be activities or skill levels or something like that could be helpful to think about in moving towards your greater, creative expression and joy in what you do as you move through this rather volatile environment. Hot air balloon, feeling ungrounded, arrogance, transcending, elevating, objectivity. Yeah, objectivity is the big thing here. Getting a higher order view, the big picture. That's why we have 3 major arcana there. You need that higher order view, and because the whole environment that you're in is ungrounded, and you've got to feel comfortable with that, not be arrogant and think it's my time to just be myself. The whole world is shifting in some way in what you're doing. So see it as an opportunity to get a higher order perspective. And wow, magician, conviction, charisma, enchantment, glamour, visionary illusions. So you do have the skills. But the thing about the magician in the tarot is that they do have the skills. There's all the elements. They really come into being at temperance, where they become the alchemist. So I think, again, it's like that. Be focused on the skills. Be focused on how you would use your skills. Be focused on who your audience is. Be focused on what do you want to appear as, because I think you have to kind of hide what your real heart is for the moment and just position yourself and learn until the timing is right, and you're more going to be able to see what's actually going on if people don't know everything, all the cards that are up your sleeve. So there's a kind of almost a trickster element about it as well. So let's ask Laka what kind of energy you should be looking to increase the impression of yourself with others, and what to maybe decrease or hide a bit. So increasing with those around you. Burgundy. Ambition, honour and respect. Yeah, think big. Get to the bigger organisations, to the bigger groups, whatever it might be. Show that you're ambitious. Show that you're ready to learn. Show that you want to command respect. So sometimes what can happen with highly creative, highly visionary people is that they can come in and they can just think, I've just got this idea, and everybody's just got to see that it's right. But they haven't done the groundwork to show their gravitas and why people should follow them. And it can die on the vine, even if it's the most brilliant idea. So I think this is like right now, show your ambition, show your dedication, and also show your respect for others. What should you potentially decrease? What is your mentor saying to potentially decrease? Sunflower, happiness, joy, play. You'll get there. This is why you're drawn to Lucky. You want the joy, you want the play, you want the creativity. But like right now, that's going to be a jewel in your crown eventually, because you really do have a very good vision and a very good creative ability. But right now you're establishing your presence and why people should pay attention to you. That's what she's trying to show you. So let's get some straight talking. Just going to get 3 cards of straight talking, and then for each of them we're going to get a chakra energy just to see what is either in balance or needs to be rebalanced in her view and what she's telling you as advice. So firstly we have, it's not the end, yet it's the beginning. There could be a feeling, if there's a lot of change going on with the Tower, like, oh my God, it's everything over. No, it's just changing. It's just changing. It's a bit like the Death card. It comes sort of like around about halfway into the Major Arcana. There's plenty more to come. She is also saying patience. You've got to have patience. I always laugh when I see patience because I'm very impatient. But yeah, have patience. This is strategic. You're having to be strategic here. And the right path. But you are on the right path. It's just the steps to take on the right path. So let's see, to deal with the fact that if there's a lot of tumultuous stuff going on, how can you keep yourself in balance so that you don't think it's the end, when you don't mistake change for the end of something? We have the solar plexus, and it says overactive. I do act competitively. Okay, so this may be the thing. There is a sense here of you wanting to be very individual and like your joy and your way or whatever. This is something to bear in mind. If you see all the tumultuousness and you decide to try and turbocharge and push through, it may not work for you. I've seen this happen to really competent people in a workplace because they kind of misjudge in a way because they are, I've got the skills, I'm ready, I'm just going to do it. But it's not a fertile ground. This is just a beginning. You don't have to. It's like in something like, I don't know, chess or in a card game or something like that. You don't normally throw out everything right at the beginning and go in really aggressively. You need to keep some of your firepower ready, and see what happens around you. So it is worth knowing that you do have a lot of ambition, which is good, but if it becomes competitive before you've established yourself, that could be an issue for you. Let's see around patience. We have the root chakra. I am fearful, underactive. Yeah, I think you would worry if you're not moving forward that you've got stuck. That's why you're feeling stuck. And she's saying, no, you're not. You're ready to step to the next level, but it's not yet about you expressing everything that you have. It's about learning more, growing more, and being ready when the time comes, because there will be opportunity in this unsettling energy. And then around the right path, we also have the root chakra. I am trusting others, balanced. Yeah, trust your mentor, and trust that like working with others and dealing with others is actually the right thing at the moment. You'll have your time. You are meant eventually to be very much a leader creatively, but you've got to position yourself. Otherwise, what's going to happen, Pawan, is that you will get much less success than you would naturally get otherwise. If you want a big canvas, you've got to get yourself to the big canvas, prove yourself, and then move forward. It's all just about strategy and timing. So let's get some stars to guide you as well. So we have Libra rising, companionable. Yeah, a lot of this at the moment is about connections, good connections. Now, a good mentor will help you with the connections, but you've got to be companionable, not I'm the creative genius, not be competitive at this point. It's like find, with the King of Cups, the like minds, the like hearts. That's the thing that will help you at the moment. Then we have Sun in the first house, Aries, I am. You are the innovator, you are the creative. That's the sign of it. But think about your image. Yeah. And it's a balancing thing here. It's like, that's why the patience is important and understanding the situation. It's like you may at the moment want your image to be very much the leader, the inspirational one. Let that emerge. The image that you have to focus on right now, she's saying to you, is the image of understanding your environment, of connecting with the right people, of building the skills, of being someone that someone would really rely on and want to follow or want to take your creative ideas. And it's a bit hard for Sun and Aries, so it's just you've got to be aware of that. Neptune in the 8th house, Scorpio, inherently wounded around an intimacy and trust. You're not sure, you felt blocked by others. See, you are very creative. You are heading towards a laka type feeling, right? And I think you have been blocked, and you felt like, people don't see me, people don't understand, people stand in my way. And so you don't really want to trust and deal with others. But like with the root chakra there about trusting others, that's knowing you're on the right path and doing that, like focusing on that is the thing to do, rather than thinking I've got to push forward and it's got to be all me and like my ideas right now. It's connecting in with others. It's a very big thing here about networking, being in a bigger environment and networking in whatever this is. You are very psychic, you're very spiritual, all of those things with Neptune in the 8th house, and you will be able to transform. It's a very powerful energy to have when we've got this sort of like tumultuous energy, but you do need to connect with others. That's why you need this bigger platform. That's what it's saying. It's been saying it over and over. So to finish off, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a card from the Saints and Mystics deck. So we started with the Goddess as your coach, not as your coach in this case, as your mentor. So we're going to finish with a Saint or Mystic, so someone from history. This is a very spiritual energy, but it's kind of to sum up the energy for you following that mentor, what is possible. So it's just a kind of an analogy that we're looking here, and this is very much unapologetically a spiritual analogy. So for you, we get Florence Scovel Shin, intuition. Okay, yeah, using your intuition with Neptune is very, very important. You are naturally very creative. You will bring about this, and you do have a sense of things. And it makes it a little bit hard to be in these big environments and deal with other people or whatever, because you're very finely attuned. But you're meant to create something that others will follow and listen to. She was a writer, so she was a writer about things that were metaphysical. Now, this doesn't have to be metaphysical creativity. It's just the spiritual side of it. Really being knowledgeable in what she did, really knowing her stuff, and then bringing her intuition and her vision into that. She then commanded a great deal of respect. So I think that's the thing that Laka wants you to do. They say, like, you're all over the creativity, you are brilliant, all of that kind of thing. You do have the skills, but there are other skills to learn, and these are the skills of whatever the environment is that you're in, and getting to the canvas that is worthy of what you have to bring, and how you build that respect so that people want to listen when you bring your ideas forward. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 2, to your reading. So you came to the reading with Aphrodite, probably the most well-known of the three goddesses that Spirit put out for the pile choice. She's a goddess of love. She's a goddess of beauty. So in this particular deck, it talks about she helps you practice self-love, self-appreciation. She's about the transformative power of love, beginning with being able to love oneself and honor oneself, and then being able to do that for others. She's about welcoming passion, love, desire, forging meaningful connections with others, and ultimately the power to heal and unite. So I think there's a number of levels in which you might have been drawn to Aphrodite. If this was around a career thing, it could be that you are either in some form of the beauty industry or the fashion industry or something like that, where physical representations are very, very important. Or you could be someone who's a therapist in some way. Somebody who helps other people sort of develop their self-love. You could be a motivational person. You could be a coach, actually, which will be interesting for the other part of this particular dual series. So that's definitely possible around sort of career energy. You could be a matchmaker. On top of that, this could be, if it's a spiritual thing, it could be that you, for yourself and for others, are looking to how to heal wounds, any issues from the past, break through boundaries and so forth, and connect more profoundly with the people around you, with the divine, or in some other way creatively to express love. You could be a songwriter who writes beautiful ballads, for instance. But like there's something here that is about passion, love, and connection, and healing associated with it. So, but it is about understanding the self first. So I think that one of the things you would be looking for if you have Aphrodite as your mentor is how did she become aware of her beauty, her essence, her love, and how did that impact on others, and where were there difficulties? Because, when we are in any relational type of energy, and Aphrodite is very much with that, we are dealing with other people. So I think that's the kind of reasoning, if that makes sense to you, you've come to the right reading. So what we're going to do with tarot is we're going to look at this on a number of levels. We're going to have a look at the skills areas and so forth, knowledge that she could be talking to you about, the situation you're in and why you would want her as a mentor. The second bit is about what are skills and knowledge to develop and what are things to release or let go of. Then we're going to ask her for what is it about the external world or the environment that you're in that she needs you to think about and know, because that's a very big thing that mentors will do for you, help you understand the environment. And then lastly, we're going to look at the balance of what's going on, whether it's personal to you, whether it's interpersonal with others, or whether it's the big picture. So I'm using the Baroque Tarot because I think it represents being in a medieval court. And I think if I was in a medieval court, I'd want a mentor, because it's a way of really understanding all the often hidden rules, the way things are done around a particular place, an industry, a workplace, a group, that's important to know to navigate towards what your goal is. So let's get a little bit of an idea about what areas, skills or knowledge you've come to Aphrodite for and why. The Devil, the Emperor reversed, wow. The Ten of Cups, the Ten of Swords reversed, the Maestro, which is an additional card. Okay, all right. So this feels very personal, I've got to say. This feels, and whether or not it's something that then plays out in a career or something like that, would depend upon who's come to the reading. I think this has a lot to do with family upbringing, what was good about it, what was also not so good about it, what was dramatic, what was caring, and what your sense of love for yourself and others that came from that environment. This looks to me like she is a feminine goddess. You're drawn to a goddess. I mean, the goddess was how we were doing this reading, but like such a feminine, such a beautiful goddess when we've got the Emperor reversed next to the Devil. I feel as though for many of you, patriarchal issues or the divine masculine, when it's being used to control and dominate rather than to liberate and create, I think has got something to do with this, whether it is that you are wanting to do something in that space and that's what you want to heal, or whether you are looking to heal that within yourself, because it looks as though there's almost an ambivalence. On one side, there is being in love with love and the concept of happy families, but also it's like there's some drama to let go of. And I feel like with the Maestro reversed, you know that you have the skill to do this, but you haven't developed it yet to the point that you really can bring about the outcome. You don't feel like you've mastered it yet. And it may be because part of what you need to do is let go of those imprints from when you were young, potentially, or imprints from the environment that you're in that is restrictive, so that you can go towards something that is more loving and caring, whether, as I say, this is in a workplace or in a group. But there's something here. If you are around a spiritual group, I think you might be looking to work out whether or not it is actually what it appears or it says it is, or whether it's actually much more controlling and dramatic. So that's something to be aware of. But Aphrodite, I think, is to bring back the beauty, the feminine, the caring in an environment that isn't really that dialed into that. And you know that you need to develop a mastery of this to be able to truly achieve whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. So let's see what she says. If she says, yeah, that's about right, let's see what she says about what you should increase your focus on and what you should either decrease or move away from. So increasing the focus, the Sun reversed, the Six of Swords reversed, the King of Swords, okay, and then decreasing focus, Queen of Wands, Five of Swords reversed, King of Cups reversed. Okay, all right. What's been interesting so far in this is I think that the mentors, and this is very true of a mentoring relationship, there's a bit of tough love associated with this. It's for your good, but it is a bit of tough love. What she's saying, I want to go firstly to what to let go of. I think that the reason you're drawn to Aphrodite, the reason that she would mentor you if you asked her, is because you have done a hell of a lot in becoming self-actualized. You really, regardless of whatever the environment you've been in or you're in at the moment, you do have a lot of confidence. And you won't give up as a result of that. You want to heal others. Like, and it's like if there's a wound that is still within you, because the King of Cups is sometimes like that, the wounded healer, you've got the sort of strength, charisma and so forth, and the determination to just keep going at it. And she's actually saying that's not the thing that's going to help you right now. What you need to do is go into your head. And that's a really interesting thing, because it's like on one hand, that's sort of like Aphrodite with love and passion, with the 10 of Cups here, your feelings are good, you're sort of strong, you want to heal. But it's almost an indirect route that you need to take here. Because she says that there is it's like a mental or a structure around, there's a belief structure that actually has to be broken through. That's what's creating this suppression. And you've got to be prepared to articulate what you want to do differently, better. So it's not about I just want to heal people. It's like you're almost being called upon to think about what would be the structure intellectually of the path that you would follow. So if this was in a spiritual group, and as I say, you've actually realised that this sort of operating a bit like a cult or something, it's like, well, what would be the alternative, a different way of looking at this and thinking about things? And it's less about what you did to get to here. It's more about what is the direction that should be discussed, because that's how you master it. Just doing it for yourself is good, and it is a skill, but if you are going to really master what this is and help others and heal others, it's not focusing just on that by saying, I don't care how difficult it is, I'm just sticking in there, I'm going to be the example of what's different here. That's not what will really help here is being prepared to be a little bit unsure of exactly what you're doing, but you're starting to articulate an alternative vision. And it's about the beliefs. There's something about beliefs here. Beliefs that have been inculcated into others. So if you understand that, that's where the liberation is. It's not just I'm going to, be strong and show another example. That's not enough. That's not enough. You actually have to bring about an alternative belief that is more conducive towards the heart. But it's got to be articulated. There's something very mind controlling about the environment that you're in that she wants you to recognize. So what more does she want to say about the external world or environment that you're in that you need to know to do this? The Star, the Two of Coins, the Tower. There's big changes potentially happening, or big changes can happen. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. All right, so this environment appears very aspirational. Whether it's a spiritual group, a work organisation, a therapeutic approach, whatever, it appears very aspirational. There's a lot of hope associated with it. There's a lot that's in the mind. There's a lot that's about belief. But it doesn't, there's choices that need to be made within this that are not stable. There's a lot going on around it. Like it's like an environment that can't hold, because there's a lot of drama actually around it. And there are choices. And it's almost like you're trying to balance the hope against the potential tumultuous sort of energy. And it's on its way down. I think what she's trying to say to you is that this once may be represented to you and to others, an ideal, or if it's a family thing, then there's issues going on in the family that are sort of separating out and so forth as people grow up and so forth. If it's a work organisation, there was an idea of what it is and now it's something else. And it's like there is a nadir occurring in the environment that would allow you to be more than just the resilient one who tries to heal people, and you become the more intellectual leader of the alternative. Like, I think this is the thing. It's like you balance what was aspirational with what won't hold to turn the wheel around. So it's like, that's why it's in the mind. Like, the mind is very important about this. How you articulate what's going on is very important, because it's an opportunity right now to break through and actually achieve the healing. But it's done through providing an alternative way of looking at things. So let's see how much is personal, how much is interpersonal, and how much is external that you need to focus on at the moment. Now, I'm just going to pull 3 cards. If it's personal, we'll get an Ace to 10. If it's interpersonal, we'll get a Court card. If it's more big picture macro, we'll get a Major Arcana. And so we'll just look at the balance of that, of what she wants you to focus on. So Justice. So yeah, there's a very strong, that doesn't surprise me with all these sort of cards. There's something very big picture going on. And again, it's about, like this sort of feels, the odd thing is that like Aphrodite is about self-love, beauty, all that kind of thing. And, you know, and some of it could be in some sort of industry like that, and things are changing and there's better contracts and better ways of doing things, you know, better ways to support people and, you know, like a Me Too movement, you know, in the movies or whatever. That could all be the case. But this feels like there's almost something social around this. It's like social or political. It's a big thing about what is right and what is fair and what is going on in the external world and how that is seen. That's why the King of Swords is so important, the articulation of the alternative vision. We have the world reversed, yeah, because something is unfinished. She's not saying leave. She's just saying focus on the ideas. There's an unfinished cause here, and the time is right for it because the dominance of the hegemony basically is shifting. And strength, wow, yeah, it's very, you're in the right position at the moment for this. You have the strength to do it. This is the time, but it's very much something that's going on more generally that is allowing that. So that's why just being resilient in this environment is not going to take you where you could go. There's a lot of opportunity now to become a leader, a thought leader, I think, in a changing environment. A lot is going on with this. So let's have a look at some sort of skills or knowledge or activities. We're going to use the Azure Oracle, which sort of shows fun activities and sports and different sort of creative pursuits or whatever. So we're just using this allegorically for some energy that you can bring to really take her advice. So firstly, planetarium, astrology, divine guidance, astral realm, butterfly effect. Wow, yeah, butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is, you know, like small changes make massive ripples. So I think it's like, this is the nuancing of the way that people express things, the way that language is used, that kind of thing, very, very important. There's a lot of change going on in this environment. Using astrology, understanding timing, because there are opportunities, could be a very, very powerful thing to do. You know, being in the astral realm to sort of get a sense of what the possibilities are. And sailing, coasting on a balance of mind energy and heart energy. Yeah, and the mind energy is the important thing. You've already all over the heart energy, but you need the mind energy to give yourself the momentum, the mind energy to take you into the kind of astral realm, the planetarium, the cosmos or whatever. But I think this is sort of like sailing. Your ship is meant to come in. This is a good opportunity, but it's about how does how you communicate take you places. That's what this is about. Communication is very, very important. So let's see what the color goddess cards. Energy that is you should show more of to people and what you should show less of to people. What is she suggesting there? So an energy you should show more of to people. Brown, earth, foundation, seeds. Yeah, like you are creating something that makes sense, that's something that is grounded, something that will grow. So it's like this again, it's like how you articulate a new vision is really important here. And what should you maybe show less of or hide away a bit? Lilac, immaturity, innocence, youth. Whatever, because I think for the people in this reading, there's something in your family background or your ancestral background that made you aware of these energies in a way maybe other people wouldn't see them, but you don't, it's not talking about that. It's not talking about your own personal healing journey. It's talking about the idea, the foundation, how it can grow for other people. Okay, so let's get you some straight talking from your mentor. Know your worth reversed. Okay. This is not to say to you that you are seeing yourself as too much or whatever, because Aphrodite is all about that, but she's saying you've already sorted that out. That's why I'm saying, like, the stoicism of it is not the thing. That's not what to focus right now. You know what your worth is. It's now what do you want to articulate, I think. What would you want to change in the environment? Special offer. Yeah, what can you offer others? It's not about, look, you know, I've survived this, you know, like we're all survivors. It's actually, this is the new vision, you know, come along with me. This is a special offer. Yeah, and do you believe it yourself? You have to believe it yourself. You have to believe in yourself and you have to believe it yourself. So let's see a chakra balance that can help you with each of these. So in moving past it just being about your own personal healing journey into something that is more philosophical, we have the heart chakra. We have underactive, I love, but can be overly critical of others. Yeah, I think there might be a thing here where, yeah, if you are in the I've survived it, I can be resilient, there is a kind of a sense of holding you separate from the environment. Whereas if you actually start to talk about how we build a better environment, then you're connecting with others. It's not about criticizing others, it's about inspiring them. The energy around the special offer with the throat chakra, I talk and my voice can be dominating. Okay, so you need to think about that as well too. It's a balance though, because I do think you're meant to articulate something, but it's probably saying if you think about harmony and connection, and that's the other thing that Aphrodite could help you with. It's how you inspire, but you also let other people talk so that people come along with you. And to help you believe more in yourself, sacral chakra, I feel addictive behaviours creeping in, overactive. Okay, I think that you've been through a lot, and I think that it'd be very easy to keep falling back on, I'm surviving this, I'm the stoic one, see what I can put up with, as opposed to, I'm going to articulate a different vision. And it's very easy to sort of fall back into what's worked because you have done very, very well with this. This is why Aphrodite would be your mentor. She sees that, but she's saying you can do more with it. So don't go into things that you're constantly trying to sort of prove to yourself that you believe. Know that, just know that. Start to think about how to draw people in with you rather than always be, I'm going to survive this and it's bad. It's like, how do I actually make it good? Because that's the next step for you. That's the direction for you. Okay, so let's get you some stars to guide you as well. Neptune in the 10th house. A lot of this, I think, is in a workplace or something like that. Could be in a spiritual group, though, because it did sort of feel a bit like that. And Neptune in the 10th house would be a spiritual sort of like environment. Dissolving the structure of the ego, yeah. But dissolving the structure of the ego is not about losing a sense of self or your own beauty. It's moving past that to be on a bigger level. So it's like, yeah, I think, she's saying, wear your strength with pride, but you've got bigger fish to fry, basically. Then we have Mercury in the 9th house. I know, inspired by the pursuit of knowledge. Yeah, like inspired by the mind. Like really, your mind is very sharp. It's very able to do this, but I feel as though you've got to find how to articulate that. And I think this is also the learning that we saw at the beginning. Like, learn more and more about what it is that you're trying to inspire people with. Listen to their voices, listen to their stories. All of that will help you. And Sun in the 5th house, Leo, pleasure. Yeah, and then you can enjoy it. So that you can enjoy what you're doing. It's like you wear your strength as your armor, I think. But on the other hand, it's like if you just kind of connect in with more and you go on a kind of exploration of ideas, dissolve all the sort of like barriers and the protections and just kind of connect with others, that's what Aphrodite can help you with. And that dissolves this world much better than just sort of saying, I survive it. That's what this is saying. So to finish off, we're going to get a card from the Saints and Mystics deck. So this is meant to be, if you have followed your mentor's advice, a kind of spiritual person from history that might represent some of the energy that you will manifest. So for you, we get a saint, St. Francis. Oh, I love it. I love it. Healing, love, caring. My favorite saint of all. And this is, bigger fish to fry, honestly. The interesting thing with St. Francis, though, is he didn't leave a family that was difficult. He left privilege to help those who are not privileged. And he had an idea about how you would do that, and he expressed that. He was also very good at animal communication, so connecting with animal spirit guides are important. This is really helping others, a bigger picture thing. That's why I'm saying I feel like this is like political or social or something like that. But there is a great generosity of spirit you have. Where I think you're different to St. Francis to start with is I think you came from a difficult environment, or you're in a difficult environment rather than coming from privilege. But what you will manifest by moving beyond just being the survivor and becoming the creator of the new world is that kind of sense of sharing, healing and unity. So we need people like you. So I hope that Aphrodite is helping you with that, and I hope this resonates. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, Pile 3, to your reading. So you came to Tiamat, and I thought, wow, when I saw that. Tiamat is a Babylonian goddess. She's the goddess of chaos and creation, of the destruction of the old and the bringing in of the new. A very, very powerful energy, very, very much sort of portrayed as a kind of female dragon. Very powerful energy here. So you're drawing in somebody who is the maker and breaker of worlds. And there are many different goddesses and gods that sort of have that across different pantheons. So Tiamat is very primordial, very ancient. So you've drawn in that energy. And I would say that if you're drawn to Tiamat, you are either wanting to create something very new after chaos, or you're someone who works well with chaos. So you could be a change maker, a change agent, an entrepreneur, something like that. You find in old systems breaking down the seeds of the new system and so forth. You're probably a bit scary to people, I would say, a little bit maybe overwhelming sometimes. So it'd be interesting, because Tiamat has to deal with that kind of energy as well, to see what she has to say to you about that, because a mentor will help you navigate an environment and know how to temper and use your ability and your strength and your creativity and so forth. But whether this is in a career, whether it is a creative thing that you're doing, whether it's a social or political thing, whether it's a spiritual evolution and revolution, that's the energy that we're talking about here, that you've come to her as a mentor for. So if that fits, then stay with this reading. What we're going to do is we're going to use the Baroque tarot. I use that because it's like a medieval court. And when I'm talking about mentors, it's kind of what I think about. It's like in surviving a medieval court was understanding the environment, the other players, the rules that were unwritten, the sort of like the networks and all that kind of thing. And that's what a mentor can help you with, whether it's in a career or in something else, like understanding the true rules of what you're dealing with. And with Tiamat, wanting to maybe how you could break through them or change them, as opposed to the kind of glossy brochure that tells you this is what this place is like, or this is what we're about. So I feel like it's a really good deck to bring that to the surface. With the tarot, we're going to ask firstly about what areas and skills and so forth Tiamat is helping you with, what you would be drawing on her as a mentor. Then we're going to be asking what you should develop more of, what she thinks you should develop more of, and what you should maybe move away from as a focus. We'll then have a look. That's interesting. I just made the deck sort of like cards jump out of the deck, so I'll stop in a second and pick the cards up. But we're going to ask what's the external world or environment, what's in that she thinks you need to recognize, and then we're going to see how much of what she's advising you on and mentoring you on is about things that are personal to you, things that are interpersonal with others, and things that are kind of bigger picture issues. Okay, I just paused to pick up the cards again, so just shuffle again a couple of times. I find it really interesting with an energy that's so powerful and tumultuous as Tiamat that when I'm shuffling, I actually have half the deck flying out of my hands. So that in itself tells you her energy is here. So let's ask what is it that you are focusing on, or why would you need Tiamat as your mentor? Page of Wands, the Maestro. Ooh, okay. The Five of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Coins. Okay, all right. One of the things that you're not going to Tiamat about is about some major big change that's going on. If there is something like that, and if it comes up as time goes on, you actually want to work out how to maintain and keep a foundation you already have. So you've already mastered something. Whatever this is, you are already a master of it. And you have a foundation. So you're not there because you're being blocked per se, but you are feeling as though everything that you would have wanted to create has not fully come into being. You can see that this is a time where you could simplify in some way so that you can take advantage of opportunities coming in. So you can see in your environment that, if you think of Tiamat as being sort of the chaotic energy, that there is some chaotic energy where you are now. It is giving you an opening. in some way, in your career, socially, like with your spirituality, whatever it is. There is a kind of an opening happening here, I think, where you can simplify or focus in a different way because the timing is right for it and you know it and you know that you're ready and you've got a vision about what you want to do. You've also got a foundation. So what you want from Tiamat is how to access this power and make the most of this so that you don't waste energy on battles that don't matter. You take it forward for where is the energy, where are the openings coming, where are you really going to be able to maximize something? But also in doing it, how do you protect what you've already achieved? So you're not looking for chaos, you're looking for creativity. But you can see a little bit of chaotic energy that's providing it's like a portal opening for you to be able to do something. So you're wanting her to help you access your ability and power to be able to take something forward and not to sweat the small stuff, I guess, would be one of the things I'd say there. So what is within you that you could develop more? What does she think? And then what would she say that you maybe should decrease to take advantage of this? And this is really like, where's the Five of Swords operating? What is probably not worth focusing on? So what would she first of all say to focus on for this? Death reversed, Three of Wands, Three of Coins reversed, okay. And what would she say to not be so worried about? Two of Wands, Six of Coins reversed, Seven of Swords, okay, all right. This is very connected to the people that you're around. One of the things that she's going to say to you, and you've been drawn to a very powerful goddess here and you're a very powerful person, is you are actually ahead of the people that you're with. But there's a side of you that to share your vision, you've wanted to be with equals and you've almost kind of negotiated away some of your vision or whatever to do that. And it's not time to do that anymore. It's almost like you fitted in and you didn't... You kind of hid your light under a bushel, as I often say. You kind of lessened yourself a bit to make yourself feel like an equal. But she's saying you're not an equal. You're ahead of this. What you've got to focus on is why is it that you are not wanting to move on your own destination and move away from collaboration? Because this is not, you're a master at something. Whatever this is, you really are. And if you've been working in a group, it's you that's created the foundation. And she's saying you've got what it takes to go through that portal, as I say, to do something. Like, you can't take everyone with you. So I think you are very collaborative and you want other people, but you're dimming your own light to do that. And it's not going to help you or anybody else. So there's like a bit of tough love around. Understand that that's the one thing that's standing in your way at the moment. You've gone beyond the people that you're with. You've mastered something. You've got to actually take on what that means. So what's in the external world or environment you need to know about so that you can do that? Judgment reversed. The Visionary reversed, so that's an additional card. The Magician reversed. Oh my goodness. The Page of Swords. Okay. You're not in the right place. This is why I got a sense of a portal. You're meant to step through. You can take a certain degree of what you've created, but you've got to be prepared to walk away from, this is not the right group, this is not the right environment, whatever it is. It's not the calling. You're not being called towards that. And the others are not going to be called towards it. If you stay where you are, you're denying your own abilities just to kind of fit in. The environment you're in will not allow you to speak of what your skills really are. Won't allow you to follow your calling, won't see you as a visionary, even though they should. Because there's something that is, it's not just that you are potentially wanting to sort of like dim your light to fit in with others. There's something about the environment or the situation that requires it as well. And she's saying that the environment is not the right one. You've got to take that chaos, even if it does mean that you're a bit worried about that. I think she's sort of saying you don't have to worry really about that. The time is right. You've already mastered this. Even if you had to recreate that, you'll do it really quickly. But this environment that you're in at the moment, for whatever this is not the right one. It can't see what you see. And it can't take you where you need to go. Wow. Okay. So let's see in terms of what she's trying to talk to you about, how much of this is you, something in you she needs you to focus on, how much is understanding other people, and how much is the bigger picture. So if it's you, it'll be ace to 10 of any of the suits. If it's other people, it'll be a court card. If it's bigger picture, it'll be major arcana. We're just going to put down 3 cards and see what the balance is. So firstly, Knight of Wands, yeah, other people, other ambitions, other directions. You've got to focus on this and understand and move away from them, I think. The Knight of Wands is moving away. The Hangman reversed, the environment is, you've got to think differently about the environment. The environment is actually impacting you. And the Eight of Swords, you've limited yourself. You're calling on Tiamat consciously or unconsciously because you know you've got to crash or crash. You know this, Pile 3. You really do. But maybe you didn't want to see it because you probably enjoy the people that you work with, all of that kind of thing. But it's going to hold you back now. So she really wants you to think bigger. So let's have a look at some skills or activities that kind of reflect some of what you have in your kit bag and perspectives that she would like you to focus on. If you're going to be as big and powerful as Tiamat, if she's your aim in a way, you've got to think big. So firstly, we have, wow, cake decorating, joy, celebration, party, treats, reward, indulgence. I think what she's saying here is that not everything has to be tumultuous and not everything has to be intense. You are allowed to find things that are fun and enjoy, and you are able to celebrate what you have. And there may even be a way to keep with people that you liked on that sort of level. But it's a treat, a reward, an indulgence. It's like not making that connection being everything because you've got, as I say, a bigger canvas to work with. And it also, I think she's saying you have the capacity to very elegantly step away from this and not hurt people too much. Wow, and belly dancing. Feminine energy, sensuality, sexuality, emotionality, and fertility. There's so much more that you can do. And that's the creative female energy that Tiamat represents. So I think, you know what I almost think she's saying for many of you, and whatever this situation is, it might be the way that you keep some of the friends and you don't lose what you didn't want to lose is actually make that much more about social energy or whatever. You've got to be kind of more your own person in terms of where you're going in terms of power, but there's no reason why you have to lose the people. You can make some of that fun and put it in a different aspect of your life. So let's see with the color goddess energy, what she thinks you should show more of to people and what you should show less of. So the energy she thinks you should show more of to people to fully step into your power. Brown, earth, foundation and seeds. This came up for one of the others as well. So this is, you need to be looking at what are you going to create now and what are you growing as opposed to, and growing yourself because, as I say, you're the master. What to show less of or to hide away a little bit or to take into a social life rather than into, career or spirituality or a cause or whatever it is that you're involved in. Gold, prosperity, riches and wealth. You're probably going to do very well. One of the things you might have to do is there might be a pushback of you're just going for this for the money or whatever. It's like, don't focus on that. Just focus on what is going to be grown in the investment, not in the outcome, because there could be jealousy, I think. I think she wants you to be aware that could happen. Okay, let's get some straight talking. Mentors are really good at straight talking, what you really need to focus on. Firstly, win. Yeah, you're meant to win. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't feel that cuts you off from other people. There's the opportunity that's opening up now for you. I am grateful. Be grateful of it. You can be grateful you have the skills. You can be grateful you have Tiamat. You can be grateful that you have had wonderful people to work with or socialise with or whatever it is. You can be grateful for that and celebrate it. And be aware that at the moment you might be pulled in a number of different directions. So you need to think, and I think also with stay focused, it's like, are you looking at the right perspective here? maybe you're looking too close up. Maybe you need to focus further out as well. So let's see some chakra energy and balance energy that may help you with each of these. So in the energy that she wants you to win because you're ready to win, we have the solar plexus. Balanced, I do have a sense of humour. Yeah, make it fun. So it reminds me, there was a point, some people may remember, where there was interviews that was really all over sort of pop culture with Charlie Sheen talking about winning. And I remember the people I was working with at the time, they found a thing on YouTube where somebody had made a song out of the things that Charlie Sheen had said in the interview and about winning, and it just became our little theme song in the work, and it just was funny. We wanted to do really well, we wanted the team to do really well, and we wanted to join together and win, and it was just a really good humorous way of dealing with things. So I think using your humor and your joy and your fun, you are good with other people, and this is a way of dealing with that. Then in terms of gratitude, I have the crown chakra. I sense my higher self. Yeah, spiritually connect in. That's the way to always connect and be balanced around gratitude. And then getting the right focus, let's say. Understanding the right focus. We have the third eye. I see and can excessively daydream, overactive. Yeah, it's like maybe you want all things, and at the moment you've got to focus on the thing. If we're always daydreaming and we're connecting with others that way, it can take us away from what our true mastery is and what we're meant to be actually achieving. All right, let's get you some stars to guide your way as well. Venus in the third house, no looking back, yeah. You can care about people. You can have sort of fun with them or whatever, but you're meant to move forward and create what you're meant to create. We also have Neptune in the 11th house, love for humanity. Yeah, make it a bigger picture thing. You do care about people. You're really good with people. Now make what you're doing a bigger canvas where you're not just helping those closest to you. You're taking this mastery, this skill to something that's bigger. And Neptune in the 8th house, inherently wounded about intimacy and trust. You might be clinging to people because you felt abandoned before, but that is like, don't look back, stay focused on the future, not on the past, and create something on a bigger scale, and you will find it works out. This is very strong indication that you're not going to lose the people that really matter to you, but you are meant to step up and do something more at this point, pile 3. Okay, to finish off, we're just going to get the Saints and Mystics deck for a person from history, a saint or a mystic that might represent who you could be after the mentoring from Tiamat. So, and this is a spiritual person, so just put it in the context of whatever it is that you would have been seeking mentoring on. And for you, we have a saint, St. Martin Caballero, spiritual pilgrimage. You're on a journey, you're on a bigger journey, you've gone through that portal. This is you starting on a much bigger thing, but it's also sharing and caring, because St. Martin Caballero became a saint because he gave his sort of clothing, his robe to Jesus at one particular point. So you will share with others, and you do have that gratitude and that connection to the divine, but this is a journey. Tiamat wants you to understand you can't stay still. You can't just stay with your friends and just think that's fine. It limits you far too much. There's a very big creative energy and a very big capacity to take very important skills forward. You've got to be prepared to go on that journey. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings.